Hello, beautiful, beautiful souls. Today I come to you raw and after a really big weekend of transformation. And I want to really speak into this because there's so many things that we fear in our life, right? There's so many things that we don't know if it's the right time. We don't know where to go after it. We don't know whether to allow ourselves to do the thing. And when is the right time, right? And there's never really a right time for anything. So it's like, when do we choose to step in? So today I want to talk about fear. I want to talk about and be vulnerable with you and open with you on what is my biggest fear right at this moment. And I also want to talk to you about boundaries because I feel like they all kind of interconnect with the whole moving to the next level, whatever that means for you, right? Like everyone has their different idea of what that is. Some people it's fitness, some people it's business, some people it's their job, some people it's, money, wealth, building all that sort of stuff. Maybe it's also to do with your family and relationships and friendships and new levels of all of that. So we get to look at all of this, right? We get to look at the whole picture because let's be honest, we all want to upgrade the whole picture. We're not looking at one piece. I mean, we might be for a period, but then we get to move to another piece, and then to have it all is what we all really want, right? What's our biggest desire? And that looks different for everyone. For me, it could be my business growing to the point where it holds me and my family and I get to, allow myself to do really big things of fly business class. We've seen some of my reels recently. I got to fly business class for the first time and I'm just going to go on this little story because it's amazing. And it was such an opportunity, right? To be able to allow myself to be treated like an absolute queen. I mean, it's just so beautiful. You go to the lounge, you can eat whatever you want. You sit there, everyone's doing their thing, with their laptops, there's plenty of room for you to just be. And you have anything, wine, beer, spirits, all there, like literally at your fingertips. Someone's there to make you coffee. They keep refilling the food, it's absolutely epic. If you have not done business class before, you absolutely have to do it. It's an absolute must. And then you get first priority onto the plane once you're on the plane. So you skip the whole line, which is actually epic. And then when you get on, you get service, you get a plate, you get cutlery, you get food to eat, no matter what flight you're on. You can have, normally they get on, they give you a glass of sparkling to sit while you wait for everyone else to board. And then you get to allow yourself to eat dinner and do all the things, which is so, so cool, or lunch or whatever time of the day you're eating. And you can have another wine if you like, you can have whatever you want really. And then you land and you're there and you just feel super rejuvenated because you've got a massive big chair, so you've got plenty of room. You are always looked after no matter what you need. And it's a real honor to be able to do that. And I think it's something that everyone should try in their life. And the beautiful thing is the next week I flew in, I don't know what they want to call it, cattle class or whatever, with everyone else, economy, right? And it was still such another beautiful experience. Like, there was no difference. I mean, obviously there's a difference, but it still felt really good. Like there was no sort of yes, it's really nice to fly business and that's something that I would aspire to do all the time, definitely. However, it's also so nice to just fly in economy. Like it actually allowed me to appreciate the fact that I could even get on a plane and go and do the thing. Because here's the thing. I made a really last minute decision to fly from, I flew to the Gold Coast, did an event, and then I decided to upgrade my life. And I chose to go in deeper with this mentor that I have. And it was a really big choice. It was a really big investment in myself. And I'd been thinking about it for a really long time, if I'm going to be honest with you. And it was a big step to put myself in a room with really, really incredible women, like seven-figure, like millionaires, like everything, right? They're all making massive money. They're all also got beautiful families and kids and not all of them, but, and they're also like building a really big legacy of what they want to leave in this life, right? To other women. Like it's a higher consciousness. We want to be able to bring women up so that they can have all these incredible things. And they are the leaders of tomorrow, or of today, really. And it was such an honor and a privilege to be with them and actually to journey through a beautiful venture. We did this big process where we all had to allow ourselves to look at something in our lives that we was really bugging us. As you know, everyone's a mirror of you. So when something comes up and you're annoyed with someone, that's actually them mirroring something about yourself. And that can be a really hard thing to take sometimes. And it was really beautiful to be able to honor that and actually see how everything in our life had brought us to the point of where we are today. And also honor the fact that it not only brought us to where we are today, which is an absolute miracle, right? Like if people hadn't done what they'd done, or we hadn't been through certain experiences, or we haven't lived life the way that we've lived it, we wouldn't be exactly where we are today. And so grateful for the people in my life who have steered me here and what they've given up and what they've had to go through to also help me be here, right? With our families, it's such an honor that they go through their own trauma, our parents and, all of that. And so our grandparents, ancestors, all keep going, have all been through this trauma, right? And when it comes down to our time, we get to allow ourselves to move through this trauma and allow ourselves to also honor the experience that we've had and learn from it and alchemize the darkness into light. And it's such an honor to be able to do that. And that's why I love personal growth, is because I get to see how all of what they have lived has actually brought us to the point where it's our turn to take it and make ourselves empowered and amazing and just feel incredible in all aspects of our life, right? And this is what I want to help all of you women feel the same way. And to actually be so grateful for your parents, for what they've taught you and what they've shown you, and what, by them allowing themselves to be who they are, you get to grow in the parts that maybe they haven't grown in. And it's just a privilege and an absolute honor. And I'm so grateful for that. And this process showed me that even deeper, right? Because we get to go deeper and we get to see how we're a mirror to people, and we get to see how that has been honored to make us who we are today. And actually so fucking grateful for that. Like, oh my gosh, so grateful. Like, I can't even tell you that my heart just completely opened, cracked open, and it was just incredible. And one of the things that I am moving through at the moment, there's been a lot of tears, there's been a lot of emotions, there's been a lot of the things, right? And I wouldn't be shocked if I randomly start crying. And that's completely okay, right? Because it's allowing whatever needs to be released to come into that next level, to come into what is next. And this is why I wanted to share this with you, this journey, and put myself in a room with people that also are going to call me out of my shit, right? And that's really important, because I think when you're in rooms, when you're comfortable or you're the big fish, let's just say, I'm going to use that as an analogy because I heard it recently from someone and I fucking loved it. I think it was Lucy, shout out to you. And it was just absolutely epic because being a big fish means like you're comfortable, right? You're sitting in your comfortable zone. And you'll understand why I'm talking about this in a minute when I get to my fear. And when you're in that comfortable zone, it's like super easy, right? Everything's really chill. You know what's coming. You can just allow yourself to be in it all. And you don't actually get pushed to grow, because let's be real. And you can grow in other areas of your life, let's be honest. But you don't really get that push, because why are you going to be pushed when you're actually super comfortable and everything's provided for you? Some of you might know where I'm going with this. You might. Keep tuned, though. If you don't, stay tuned. If you do, there's more little nuggets in here that you'll absolutely love, so please stay tuned. So, you can be super comfortable and super easy, right? Like, you know what's coming, you know what it is. It provides so much for you. And then the other side, when you put yourself as a small fish, I'm a small fish in a bigger pond, right? So I put myself in a bigger pond with big fish, and now I'm the small fish in the big pond. And this is what this signing up to this mastermind meant, right? Like, that means I sign up for a year and I make a big investment in me, because to me, that is what it's all about, is reinvesting in myself, which will always come back to me, right? Because I have the belief that when I invest in myself, it always comes back to me tenfold. So investing in myself, taking a big leap, and then also putting myself in a room where all these big fish are just like, it's totally normal for them to create, to have impact on women, to make money, to have beautiful families, to, have all these beautiful things manifested into their life. It's normal. They just talk about it like it's all completely normal. And that's a new level because that's not always when I'm around. And don't get me wrong, I have beautiful friends that also allow this. However, this is in a business and a different sense. And it's really lovely because when it's in your field and you're in their field, you feel so expansive. And so it can be a lot as well. It can be quite scary. Not going to lie, when I first got to the retreat, I was a little bit nervous, especially to meet them all because I didn't know any of them. Or kind of like through seeing them around, but not really like having a full conversation with them and actually connecting and getting to know them. And so this was really important because it was like, oh my God, like this is a really big deal. I'm going to meet some really big fish and I'm a little fish in a big pond. And I got to really connect with some more, some more than others. We only had a period of time. We really got to get into it, but it was really beautiful to see them share and to see, that we're all going through things and we're all growing and we all have our own, pieces of the puzzle that we get to connect and we get to grow through to get to our next level, which is all very different, right? Everyone has a different next level. And this is amazing because it actually really allows me to, one, be in a higher vibration than I have been. And it also honors the fact that I am progressing and I want to move up and do all the things. And that was really funny because my biggest fear, which we're going to get to, is something that's been around for a while. And a lot of you who have known me have known I've spoken about this for a really long time. A lot of my good friends will know this. And it has never really hit to be the time to do it. And this is really interesting because once I got there with all these beautiful women, they were just like, when are you doing it? Like it was a no-brainer. Like it was like, you got to do it because it'll push you and it'll get you to where you want to go. And because in my head, I've got this vision, right, where I'm supposed to be at a certain point before I make this decision. And it hasn't happened. I'm not at that point yet. And it's funny when you start to do that because when you do that mentally and you're like, I should be at a point, obviously, Shane, we've talked about this in other episodes, right? Well, you have this vision. The universe only allows you to be given the thing when you do the brave, courageous action, which I'm sure we've talked about as well. So if I'm not doing the courageous action, then why would the universe give me the thing? And so it's kind of sitting there probably giggling and being like, you're ready. Like it's time to no longer be comfortable. It's time to get out of your comfort zone. And that was one of the big steps that I took. However, the biggest step and my biggest fear is that I am scared to leave the army. I'm not going to lie to you. Like that is exactly my biggest fear right now is leaving the army. What does that mean? I have been in for 13 years and that's a really long time. Don't know if you guys have ever been in a job for 13 years, but it's a really long time. I've been looked after. They look after medical, dental, housing, all the things. Like, where would I even live is the first question. Not actually. There's a lot of questions going through my brain, but that's one of them. And it's like, this is a really big fear. Like, it's a really big thing. And I know that this is the last year I can be in defense for many reasons. One, I have an incredible boss. And I have an incredible woman I work with, and we won't be working together next year. So we move every 3 years. Anyone who doesn't really know much about the military, we move at a minimum every 3 years. We can move more than that, depending on what the army needs. And so I've been super lucky. I've actually been in Sydney for 4 years, but I was promoted. That's why I got to stay. So I was a corporal for a year, and then I just moved to a different base in Sydney, and then I was promoted to a sergeant for 3 years. So very, very fortunate to stay in Sydney. And it's a big deal. Like I have never, apart from when I lived at home, I have actually never lived on my own, like with my own income that's not from a job. And I love this business and I'm so love every minute of it, and it's been absolutely epic. And I cannot wait to just be in business, right? Like how cool to be like, I'm my own boss and that's it. And I know it's going to happen. Like I know it. And I love that these women just kept asking me like, so when are you putting it in? When are you getting out? And oh my gosh, like I didn't realize how much this would actually be a thing. Like I would be really nervous about it and really scared to actually make a decision on doing this. And I still, not going to lie to you, I haven't made a decision. I haven't decided to put in my paperwork or do anything like that. However, I keep getting all these beautiful messages from the universe saying, you're ready. Like it's just like, do the thing. And once you do the thing, it's like you will be rewarded because you actually get to step into doing your business full time. Anyone who can relate, who has any sort of fears, no matter what they are, this is a really big deal, right? This is a really, really big deal. And so it's really interesting when you're navigating these things, because I've had lots of friends, tell me, oh yeah, when it's time and stuff. But it was really nice to also have people being just like, they have no attachment to me. They know nothing about my life. And they also can see what is possible, right? Because this is the other thing. It's believing and knowing that I'm ready and it's possible, and I'm going to be fully held and supported by the universe, fully trusted. This is a big thing too, because it's something I've never done before. It's absolutely outside of my thought, brain, my process, and that's what happens with the universe. Like, it's nothing to do with you. My brain can't even imagine what happens when you actually make these decisions, right? So it's a really big, interesting time here. And I wanted to share this with you because I know that you have fears, and we all do. And also, as a leader, I get to go first. So in this aspect, and not saying that everyone on this is listening and being like, I want to quit the military and go and chase a business. However, the reason I'm telling you this is because you may have a big dream, something that you really want. And look, I've started this 2.5 years. I've been looked after. I have had a full-time income, or apart from last year, I decreased so I could have days in my business. But I've had pretty much a full-time income while I've been progressing and going through this business, which has been amazing. And the other side to this, right? And the other part that I want to talk about today is that I have, built this business and all things. Like, I wouldn't have started this podcast, and I've had all these beautiful people that have come in and supported me, right? Because I'm so fucking supported right now. Like, that is another really big deal, is being so supported, like so fucking supported. I honestly cannot tell you that I never believed, okay, and this is another side tangent. In my life, a lot of the time I'm a lone wolf. I do it on my own. I don't ask for help. I don't ask for support. And this has been a really, really big learning curve. Because what does that mean? It means that I don't have people there to support me, to hold me. So sometimes I drop the ball. And when you have people there to support you, you don't drop the ball because they are there to help you when you really need them the most. And I'm so grateful because I have beautiful people that produce this podcast. I have a beautiful, assistant who helps me with my social media stuff, and also my emails and all the things. And I'm so supported by the women that I'm in a container with, by my coach, my mentor. I've had coaches and mentors before who have been amazing too, who have helped me get to where I am today. So it's a really, really beautiful, beautiful piece, because I am so fucking supported. Like, it's literally like everyone is holding me and hugging me through this process. And I haven't even taken the step yet. So one thing, when I started to allow myself to have support, and the right support, right? So people that were higher, that have done more than me, that have gone further than me, but where I want to go, because this is the other thing that again, getting to the next part of what I want to talk about is boundaries. And it's really important, because where your focus goes, your energy flows. And you've probably heard that saying before. It's really important, because when you start to have your energy, like your focus go somewhere. So for example, right, my focus goes, towards my business, right? And so then my energy flows there. And then it keeps flowing there, keeps flowing there, keeps flowing there. And then I reap the rewards from that, right? But if I'm like leaking energy over here and leaking over here and leaking over there, and maybe this isn't aligning, or I'm not having the most magical day, or not everything's perfectly working out, and I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting annoyed, that all leaks into everything else, right? So say if I'm in my job and one day someone frustrates me or asks me something, and I'm, busy doing something else, and it gets me all frustrated and flustered, or ask me a stupid question, or decides that they're more important than my time of what I'm doing, then that's not helpful, because that's going to leak into my business, leak into my personal life, leak into, do you know what I mean? Like, everything touches everything, which is another great saying from one of my old mentors and coaches. And it's really beautiful, because it's like we get to honor what's right for us, and we get to choose that. And how we choose that is through boundaries. So to stop that leaky energy, we choose to set a boundary maybe with the people that we spend time with. For example, putting myself in a room with bigger fish means that I spend time with people talking about bigger things than me, which is only going to bring me up, right? Because if I'm in a room with people that are talking about stuff that's smaller than me, I'm not going to grow and shine as quickly because I'm not going to be pulled up by the vibration and the frequency. Now, a lot of the time, this can mean that you may lose people. So if you didn't know, the top 5 people that you spend time with, you're the average of that. So in life, if you look at your beautiful friends, family, all the things, whoever you spend the most time with, right? The 5 top people, and you're the average of those 5 top people in any aspect of your life. So you can look at all the aspects. So some people will be beautiful because they're honor, they have beautiful relationships and you love them and you get to be part of that and see that and have that in your world. Some people will have, incredible wealth. Some people will have, an incredible fulfilling job. It all connects. Some people are super fucking fit, right? And they're super amazing. So everyone has their things. And you just get to see if, when you look around at the top 5 people that you spend time with, are they the people that are going to help you progress and grow and come up? Because this is really, really important. And do you have boundaries around what actually serves you? Because when your energy is flowing to something and you're frustrated, that energy is, like I said, leaking everywhere else. So it's like if you're gonna keep focusing on that's frustrating and annoying and doing the thing, or that doesn't serve you, this can come in relationships as well when we stay in things that we shouldn't. Same with the job, right? The fear of leaving my job. So that energy then leaks into everything else. So it affects everything else. So this is a really big piece because if you keep letting, and I'm not just talking to you, sister, I'm talking to me. If you keep letting these things go into your energy, go into things that doesn't serve you or doesn't make you feel good or doesn't actually honor your truth, whatever that is, in relationships, jobs, etc., and you really desire something over here, right? So just think, your big desire is to, let's use me as an example. Leave the army, grow my business, be able to help millions of women around the world honor themselves and actually have what they desire through looking after their health, their mental, like changing their mindset, looking after their body, and also honoring their fucking energy, which is what we're talking about right now, right? Allowing the energy to go where they want it to so that they can reap the reward of this, the desires, the pure desires that you want, right? And we all want them. We can sit here and say, oh, I don't want them. Girlfriend, you fucking want them because if you're dreaming about them, there's a reason. It's not just for fun. The universe didn't just put that dream there and be like, oh, we're just going to leave this here. We weren't really sure what to do with it. We weren't really sure where to put it or who to give it to. We're just going to put it in the ether. And then whatever happens, happens. Absolutely not. Fuck no. The reason you're dreaming about the thing, the reason you're thinking about it, the reason you have it in your awareness, in whatever capacity that is because you desire it, right? And if you desire it, then you fucking need to work towards it. Because why wouldn't you? Why would you leave it there and be like, cool, look, I do desire this, but also I'm just going to leave you there for another 20 years because, I'm happy to sit in my shit. I'm happy to sit in my shit job that I don't really enjoy. And prelude to this, I don't hate my job. I just doesn't all align with me right now. I love certain parts of it and beautiful people. I need to put that in there because I really do. What's kept me, and this is a side note, what has kept me is because I fucking love the people that I work with. Like if you've met my boss and the girl that I work with, you would honestly just be like, they are the best humans in the world and I fucking love them, right? I love taking PT. There's so many aspects of my job that I absolutely love. Other aspects of my job I don't really love. And that's completely okay too. I don't love moving all the time. Which, is quite funny because who knows what I'll do. I may move all the time, which is hilarious. But right now I don't like being moved. I want to choose. I want choice, right? And being in the army, you don't really have that choice. You get to put your idea down, but you don't really get to choose, right? So what I'm saying, I'll go back to where I was. Do you want to keep living in the shit, doing the thing that doesn't serve you, that doesn't honor what you actually fucking want in this life? Or do you want to go after your desires? Again, I'm not just asking you, I'm talking to myself. So that's why I wanted to share this with you, because it is a really big deal. It's a really, really, really big deal. And it's something that we get to honor. We get to sit there and go, do I actually really fucking want this? Because I clearly do, because it's in my awareness. It wouldn't be in my awareness or my dreams or my meditations or whatever, insert here, if you didn't really fucking want it. How long are you willing to ignore it or no longer do the thing to get it? It's a really good question. And trust me, we all do it. This is not, like I said, it's not just you, it's not just me, it's so many other people. When you look around, you'll see people doing all the bloody time. And it takes pure courage to choose to do this. Not to do this, like not leave it up there for 20 years is what I'm saying. And it takes a lot of fucking guts to be like, this is safe and easy and I know the outcome and I know how this is going to support me and I know what this is going to do. So I'm just going to keep choosing it because it's easier. Girlfriend, that is literally my brain. And so I guess the point when it's like, when is this too much of a burden to go after this? Because I'm not saying that this didn't serve a purpose. Absolutely everything in the army, like I was talking about earlier, has got me to where I am today. Having this job and staying in this job to this point has served me and has allowed me to build my business without scarcity, without fear, without not having something behind me to actually build me to this point. So it's the point when you're ready. And that didn't slow this down. What it did was, it could have actually, I would never know that. I can't make that claim. I don't actually know because I didn't do it. But what I'm saying is sometimes there is purpose in that. But when does it get to the point when it's no longer serving you? This is the question. And when does the fear run your life so you don't make the decision and the choice? Because here's the thing. You're going to work it out. I'm going to work it out. It's going to happen and it's all going to be fine. And I'm actually going to have way more energy, time, space to put in my business when I quit my job. That's the truth. That is a hard, cold truth. Because even going to work, that's energy. It takes time. It takes, so many things out of your day. And it's really, really important to, one, honor the fact that, yes, it has served me. Because let's be real, it has. And when is the time when you're ready to no longer live that fear story and no longer use it as a reason for not going anywhere and for not actually going all in on your dreams and your desires? And I'm not separate to you. I've done this many times. When I wanted to start a business, talked about it for years, finally did it. When I went to join the army, like talked about last week. And it wasn't until I learned boundaries. And I had another thing happen recently where I was met someone really lovely, and we didn't have the same aligned vision. And although they were a lovely person and we got on and it was nice to chat, it doesn't serve to put my energy there because it actually isn't going to go anywhere and it actually isn't good for me or that other person. And this is really, really important to set the boundary of being like, I love you. And in that case, I just met them, so I wasn't quite as attached. But I got to be like, this doesn't serve us. We spoke. I was like, this doesn't serve us. And it was really nice to meet you. And we get to choose not to be friends, which is fine, which is perfect, actually. Because then we're both not putting energy into something that doesn't serve both of us. And it's really important because you've got to do it with friends, you got to do it with family, you've got to do it with whoever. But also, on the flip side, allow yourself to be fully supported. And that'll look different for everyone. Because as much as lone wolfing is fun, it's also really hard. You don't have anyone to cry with, you don't have anyone to tell when things are going wrong. And single women, we can lone wolf a lot. If you're like me, girl, I've been lone wolfing for a long time. Even some of my girlfriends have told me I need to cry. We call them and cry instead of just dealing with it on my own. And it's a really big lesson. I'm going to continuously keep learning. But this is a really big trust piece and a really big moment in time. And that's why I wanted to also document it. To one, show you, but also to show myself that we get to go through these times. There's many times when we have tower deaths, you know, if you're into tarot, we have the tower card come out and you're like, oh. But sometimes the tower's really good. Sometimes actually it never means bad things. But there's moments in life where we get to make a choice and we get to sit with it's time. And it's no longer time to procrastinate, to wait. Because honestly, who is that serving? Definitely not you. Maybe the people around you. And that's another piece, and we could go into that forever. But also, it's really good to check in that you're not just doing it for other people. Because that is another thing too. So when these things come up, when there's fear to move forward in any capacity of your life, or go and do a course, or grow more, or learn more, or commit to having a coach or a mentor, because that's fucking epic. Everyone should have one, I believe. They're fucking amazing. That's why I keep investing in them, because I keep growing and growing and growing. And so I can be held and supported through big moves like this, right? Because that's another thing. Sometimes when we lone wolf so much, we actually don't realize that we're not allowing ourselves to be fully held and supported. And sometimes joining a container is perfect for that, because it's literally the whole point is being supported through our growth journey. And having a coach and mentor to hold us through that is amazing. So if that's ever something you want to do, definitely do it. I honestly, like, whoever serves you and actually you're like, fuck yes, I want to work with them, do it. It's an amazing, amazing experience, and you'll have an amazing time, especially if it's someone you fully trust. Like if you've been watching them or you think, fuck yeah, they can hold me in what I want to move through, then fuck yeah. And they're leading. This is the other thing. They're leading their life. And that is so important, because you want someone who's leading their life to help you lead yours, right? To allow you to blossom in that space. And the beauty of this as well is these women are asking me these questions, but they're not saying you have to tomorrow. No one is. Everyone's saying like, when are you ready? They're asking me the question. And this is the other thing. I get to be with a coach and a mentor that they just ask the question, are you ready? Is it time? When are you ready? They also will give me a little nudge when I need it, which is very important, and really ask the hectic questions to make sure that I'm honoring that. And that is really, really, really beautiful, because when you get to have people like that who know and see how incredible you are and what you can serve the world with, it's really, really good. Like, it's just amazing. The feeling of it is incredible. You feel like you can do anything. And the mission for me is to help women like you do the exact same fucking thing. So guess what? You get to watch me do it go first. Like, you get to watch me lead my life and do it first. Doesn't mean you leave the military, but it means big things, right? Especially if you're in business. Like, I've gone and built a business, which is incredible, and I help women and I have courses and all the things, right? If that's anything you aspire to be in the same vortex as me, like, that's amazing too. And maybe we can connect there. It really depends on what you need and what you want to build in your life and what you desire. But I am here to say that if you know it's time and you've been waiting and waiting and waiting, don't wait any longer. If you feel in your bones that it is time for you to do anything, it could be run a marathon, it could be go swim across the lake, it could be, I have no idea, it could be signing up with a mentor or a coach, it could be taking back your business, it could be anything, right? Anything at all. Going after a relationship, and literally just went to a singles comedy event on the weekend, and it was really fun. Totally outside of my comfort zone, but it's the only way I'm going to meet people, right? So this is the thing. Do the thing when it feels good and put your energy where you want it to go, what you want to manifest, what you want to bring into your life. Put your energy there towards your desires. And if there's any leaky energy, make a boundary with anyone, right? Or if you have to cut people off and you do want to bring yourself into higher circles, do that. Make the intention to do that, right? To bring yourself into higher vibe conversations around you all the time. And allow yourself to not live by the fear. don't do it. It's not worth it. You are worth so much more. As we spoke about last episode, you're fucking worthy when you choose you. And this is choosing you. So don't live in the fear. Go after your desires. Make sure you've got boundaries around you so that you can make sure you only use your energy where you want to go forward, not to go backwards. Don't let yourself have any leaky energy because it's not going to serve you. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. I love you, and go after all your desires because you're worthy of them all.